everyone. Welcome back to the first in a while episode of Wednesday Night Frights, your midweek escape into the shadows. I'm Josh, alongside my co host, as always,
Mika G.
Mika G, and we're here just to kind of go through the world of horror, fresh releases, cult classics, dark legends, and the future of our nightmares. So tonight, we're going to keep it loose and conversational as we always do, but I wanted to talk about The Long Walk. Mika and I have both seen it. I think, did you say you saw it a second?
I
You
saw
saw
it.
it a
Yeah, I saw
second
it
time.
twice. Yes.
Mika seen it a second time. And then I know Mika's already done this. She talked about it on the Blurred AF with Blue and Dre, but I want to get into him because it doesn't sound like a lot of people are loving it to me. So we'll talk about that. And then I want to end with a little conversation about my favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre and what we think that's going to look like now that it seems A24 has all those rights. Uh, so I think it should be a lot of fun. But before we do that, let's listen to our new intro. Here it comes.
Yeah, slippery way down. Josh and Mika in a house. Turn the lights down low. Here we go. It's Wednesday night and the frights come alive. We're dropping screams with the jokes on the side. Monsters, killers, ghosts in the dark, but we're laughing while we're watching. That's a trademark. Wednesday night frights, we set the vibe. Josh and Mika keep the horror alive. Chills and thrills with a beat so tight. Every week we bring the shadows to life. So grab your popcorn, lock the doors. It's Wednesday Night Frights. Let's explore.
I love it.
All right. It's
love
just silly enough to be awesome.
It gives so totally 80s vibes. I love
Yes.
it. I'm here for
Yes,
it.
it's I wanted that whole slashery. Well, like you sure, let's make a slasher movie. I wanted it to feel like a slasher.
Yes,
All
I
right.
loved it.
Well,
I
let's
love it.
let's dive right in. Let's talk about Long Walk. So this movie is it's a lot to take in. I don't know. I couldn't have watched it twice in such a short amount of time as you did. So how did that go? Did you so the second time was with the kid?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the second time, because I wanted to go see it first
Yeah.
before I allowed for my child to go and see this movie. She's 12,
Yeah.
so and she's a huge horror movie fan,
Mhm.
just like her mom.
Yeah.
Um, but I knew it would be heavy.
Yeah.
And so I asked her before before I even decided, I was like, do you think you're ready to watch The Long Walk? Because I
Yeah.
told her what I saw. And she was like, yeah, I think I'm ready. She was not ready.
I so you had introduced me to I've forgotten the gentleman's name, but the audiobook that was on YouTube. We shared
Mhm.
the link a few weeks back. So I knew what I was getting into, and I still wasn't totally ready for it.
Ditto. Ditto.
Um, so there a lot of people say things like the movie's never as good as the book. The book's always better. And generally speaking, as an English teacher, I agree with that. However, in this case, something Francis Lawrence, when he sat down and with JT Molnar and they were putting this together, the changes from the book to the movie all work to make this hit so much harder.
Yes.
Um, like so just the fact that they go from 100 boys to I think the movie says 48.
50. There's
Is
50
it
of them.
50? Yeah.
Mhm.
So they cut it in half. So all of a sudden the stakes are kind of already the stakes are already feeling bigger. You've narrowed it down. And then like the I really don't like spoiling it, but the ending is not the ending of the book.
Right.
The ending of the movie is 100% the right ending.
Yes.
uh it's So everything that happened in the book still happens here. It just happens in a much more satisfying way, I think.
Yeah.
Um, what so you really like fell in love with the story when you listened to it, you were preaching it to everybody. How did you feel about some of the changes, the way the characters were done?
I actually love the way that the characters were portrayed. As I tell everybody, there is one character that is in the book that is
Mhm.
split between two characters in the movie. And I like the fact that they did that. I also
Yeah.
like the fact that they did, dwindle the number down to
Mhm.
50 because it
Yeah.
makes it, you had your core four, as I called them.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, you had your core
They
4.
call them, well, it's the four of them, but they call themselves the Three Musketeers, right? So
Yes. Yes.
they're, there's going to be some buddies, there's going to be some different things.
Right.
But yeah, um, and the characters that you don't like even they end up having some redeeming values in there sometimes. I just lost his name,
Berk
Barkovich.
Barkovich. Barkovich.
Barkovich. The way bro goes out,
Uh, yeah.
that I so normally I see things like that coming, but by now the movie is already got me in such a mindset that I didn't see his, like I saw his mind spinning, right? Because earlier in the movie, it doesn't, no, this doesn't spoil anything, but a little earlier in the movie, he's just just basically being a bully. He's ragging on this other character and just beating him up mentally until he ends up cashing in his ticket.
Yes.
And then the guys, especially the Musketeers and even a couple others, they are just going on and on. They're giving it back to him and calling him murderer and everything. So you see his kind of spiral happening, but I didn't see it going down the way he does with the, was it a spoon or the end
Yeah.
of something? Yeah, it looked like the back of a spoon. Just
Yeah.
that was so like, I was so emotionally invested. I watched it by myself in a half full theater, but I was alone. It was just me. I didn't go with anybody else, sitting in the back of the theater. So I'm looking over everybody. And normally you get somebody moving around or crumpling of popcorn and stuff. When that scene was happening, it was just riveted silence in the theater. Nobody was grabbing their popcorn. No one was shaking a drink. No one needed to get that Sour Patch Kid right that second. It was so well done. Francis Lawrence really hit a tone with this movie. And yeah, just every character was worthwhile. And Mark Hamill, I'm just going to say that guy, holy cow, that dude's killing it for Stephen King this year. That's two, right?
Right. That's 2. Yes. Him as the major is, I
Yeah.
mean, you don't, number 1, you don't even recognize him.
No.
I mean, he does hide behind mirror glasses the
Yeah.
entire movie, but
Hmm.
as soon as he pulls up, you don't even know
No.
that's him.
No. Yes.
Um,
100%. And he has a pretty recognizable voice, but he
yes.
acts, he alters his voice. He gives his voice an affectation so that you don't even recognize his voice in this movie.
Right.
He, yeah.
And it the crazy thing is a lot of people recognize him from being the Joker, but
Yeah.
there's no Joker vibes
No,
in
no,
this movie. I'm gonna let you know that
no,
right now. You don't even
no.
recognize him.
Like you see the boys, the boys start doing their thing, the F the long walk, F the major, F the long walk. Like they're trying to take their power back. And the major comes around and totally steals it and says, yeah, that's how you're gonna win. Like
Yeah.
he just, everything he does is so cold, so evil,
Yeah.
that everything he gets he deserves.
Especially when Garrity is like, "Will you shut up? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Like,
Right.
why are
Yes.
you still talking?" And he's like, "Yes, son.
Yeah.
That's how you do it." And
That's
it's
how, yeah.
like
That's how
that's how
you,
you get rid of somebody's spirit. Like
Yeah,
I'm literally giving you the middle finger
right.
verbally.
And
And
then you
you're
just don't
like
care. Yeah,
you're like, "I don't care. You're gonna die anyway, kid."
yeah, yeah. And so you mentioned Garrity Cooper Hoffman. I haven't even looked him up yet, but that dude's got to have 100 movies offers coming in. He's got to be in everything now. That actually him and McVries, David Johnson, those two are so dang good.
Yeah.
I want the buddy cop comedy with the two of them. Like I want
I want
them to do.
anything with the 2 of them in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the two of them doing
Anything.
they they're so they always talk about the it factor in chemistry. The two of them they instantly seem like they should be hanging out together. These are brothers, they're bonded, there's some and they do such a great job of playing off each other, feeding off each other. Even their little they have that little bit where they have a fight and Peter basically pushes Ray away, and thinks, oh, you're all out for yourself and everything. Even through that felt real. And then the natural way they come back together felt real. Always
That was
fighting for
during
each
the
other.
incline scene.
Oh yeah, that
And
incline.
Garrity
Oh
had his 3rd warning,
yeah,
and and yeah,
you ain't stopping.
they had literally
Yeah,
just fought right before
yeah,
they hit that incline.
yeah.
And in the way I listen, Pete, my favorite character, Garrity and Pete are both my favorite characters.
Right,
But the way Pete saved Garrity so many times
right.
in this movie, you know what I'm saying? That's why the ending felt the way that it felt, because you're just like,
Yes.
"Whoa."
Yeah, because how else could Garrity have paid back paid back McVries? How could
Right.
get Ray have paid back, thanked Peter for everything he did when he was falling asleep and keeping him walking, when he got his third strike and kept him moving, all of these things that he never had to do. I think it was the only way, like the only way that could have been better is if they, like, in no, it could not have been better. My heart wanted them both to somehow win, but I knew
Yes.
that couldn't happen. My heart wanted
Oh,
them both to somehow win.
I wanted both of them to win.
Yeah, and
I
when but
wanted both of them to win.
when Garrity sees Peter kneel down like he's gonna let him go and win, let Garrity win, and he stops this time and goes and pulls him back, and then they start having their conversation. That right there was the culmination of, yeah, it had only been a few days, but that was a lifelong friendship now. Like
Yes. Yes.
regardless of what happens to Peter in the future, and they do leave it ambiguous, but we all probably know what happened.
Right.
But yeah, oh
Yeah, I love their chemistry. I love, McFreeze. He never
yeah,
lost hope, if that makes
no,
sense.
yeah,
Like, he was always
yeah,
the positive light of energy, like,
yes,
let's live in these moments, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I understand how Baker feels, because he
yes,
says "I'm just here to make friends." And everybody looking at him like he crazy, and he's
yeah,
like, "No," like, and it
yeah,
McFreeze is like, "No, he
no,
makes sense, because
yeah,
in this moment,
hmm,
you need to make friends in this moment, because even though
right,
we know the outcome,
yeah,
it still feels good to have somebody to talk to and
hmm,
be a compadre in
right,
in this moment." And he dropped so many
hmm,
jewels in this
yeah,
movie. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
I loved him. I love
Peter
him.
is definitely the heart and soul of the movie. I know Cooper Hoffman is technically your lead, or Garrity is technically the lead, but McVries is the emotional heart of the movie. But Garrity says, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but he says something about his dad. When he talks about his dad, the things that his dad said about, yes, it's a choice, but it really isn't a choice because they've taken away everything and made us think this is the only way. Like this is profound stuff that is 100% relevant to us in our world. How many things do we do every day thinking we have a choice, but we really don't. It's just what we do. It is yeah, it's crazy the way all of that some of the knowledge that's dropped, but all of the friendship stuff, all of the looking out, looking at the bright side of life, especially when McVree starts telling us his story.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And then I'm like, no, I choose every day to be positive because I don't want to be what they were to me. I want to be this light. And I was like, that is just absolutely amazing because we can make that choice.
Right. Like he tells a story, tells a story about how he ended up with that scar. And
Yeah.
he's like, every day I choose to be positive
Mm-hmm.
because because we can only live in this moment. And
Yeah.
listen, when y'all watch this movie, you have to listen to Pete talk, because when
Yes.
Pete starts talking, the boy just
Yeah.
starts
Oh yeah.
dropping he starts dropping jewels. And
Oh
and
yeah, he
and
does.
and Mc, I mean,
Oh yeah.
and Ray is like, you know what, Pete? Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because I almost believe that I think I do believe that Pete or that Garrity is it had he won naturally, he was no longer going to follow through with his wish.
Right. Right.
Because Pete got him to think about it and no, I'm gonna choose to be happy. I'm gonna choose to do the good and be right. Um, we'll never know, but
Yeah.
um, and there's something else I think that worked really in this movie's favor is there is no big twist. There is
No.
one, but there's no real story twist. There's
There's a
right,
little small one, but
yeah, but
it's not like,
it's
oh.
not all of a sudden. Just kidding. It's not really a walk. They were dreaming. No,
Right.
like
No.
there's no not some huge story pivot. There is a twist for those that are familiar with the book.
Mhm.
But there's no real flashy action. There is the incline when they're going uphill.
Whew.
Yes, there is some action right there. It's gritty, it's dark, but there's not a lot of big flash. It's not a John Wick movie. It's just walking, talking, and suffering together. And it's a thriller movie, but the way that they deal with the suffering and the way that it's grounded in a reality we can believe,
Mhm.
it makes it horrific. So it makes it a horror in the way that it's just you could imagine a couple of things going the wrong way in our world looking like this, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it's just wild.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Um.
loved it. I thought that JT Molnar's screenplay was great.
Mhm.
I love that. I read something that when Stephen King and Francis Lawrence, because Stephen King's on as an executive producer, so when they were talking to the studio initially wanted this to be PG-13. They wanted to be able to get the bigger audience. They wanted the kid audience, that younger money, and they emphasized that the film had to stay R-rated because the emotional weight and intensity of the book demanded that stronger
Yes.
thing. And I think it was absolutely the right choice.
It and Francis also did he also did the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So you definitely get the Hunger Game vibes
Right.
in this movie. You're
Yes.
rooting for your favorite characters.
Yeah.
And of course I just said that, Garrity and McVree's were my favorite, but also
Mhm.
Olsen. In the
Yeah.
beginning, this little kid stole my heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
And to watch his slow
Mhm.
decline
Yeah.
broke my heart. Like the
Yeah.
first time I watched this movie,
Absolutely.
boo-hoo crying.
Oh yeah.
Boo-hoo
No.
crying.
I was listening. I was listening on Monday to the guys over at Popcorn in Your Beard. Mika couldn't make it on the episode under the weather and all, but I was listening to that, and when they were talking about that ending, and I just said, "Look, I totally get it," because I was, and I just messaged it in, but I was in that back of that theater literally I had to wait for the credits to roll because I was up there ugly crying at the end of that movie. And I don't just mean like the very end. It was the last 15 minutes
Yes.
when all of these characters that you are rooting for, because you're not rooting for one, you're really rooting for the four,
Yes.
the musketeers. Yeah, as the and we all know, without it doesn't spoil anything, the long walk, there is only one winner. So
Correct.
some of your favorite people are not going to make it. But when we start to find out more about Olsen, his personal life, and he's up there and his legs keep moving, but he's out of it, and we're learning about his personal life. They're sharing that he's got a wife.
Yeah.
Oh, just oh man.
The character
Yeah.
Olsen got
And
the guy from the I can't remember his name from the book, but he got his story. So he got the married wife
yeah.
part of the story, and then Stebbins
Yeah.
got he got sick part of the story. So they split this one character
Yeah.
into Olsen into and
Yeah.
Stebbins.
Into step. Yeah. And that Stebbins story, he's never a huge part of the movie. He's just
Mm-mm.
kind of always there. But that when we find out who he is,
That's that
he
little
I mean,
that's
because
that little
he's not one of the four guys. He's not Barkovich. But when we start to find out who he really is, and it illustrates finding out who he is makes Mark Hamill the major that much worse.
Yes.
The
Be-
guy's just ugh.
yes.
Yeah.
But
I'm
like
almost ready for another watch just talking about it.
I kind of don't. I think this is my only quibble. Shout out to
Yeah.
fun with horror. This is my only quibble about this movie. I wish they had
Mhm.
made the character of Stebbins more like he was in the book.
Yeah.
Not because in my the way I envision Stebbins in the book
Mhm.
is he's a shorter boy. He was like Olsen's height, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But still blonde, you know what
Not
I'm
this.
saying?
Yeah.
Not this,
Not
not
Jack dude. Yeah.
right, like not this
The
big burly
airy.
dude that's,
No.
and he's freaking gorgeous. Like,
Yeah.
no,
I was like
like
the perfect human.
right. So like I wish they had made him more like he was in the book where he was kind
Yeah.
of timid. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But he every once in a while he would come and say something slick and
Yeah. He would just drop something. Yeah.
like he would just drop something just to be like, "Oh, and then they're
Mhm.
like, "Why do you know so much about the long walk?" He's like, "Psh, I don't know." And then he would just drift off. He would like drift off to
Mhm.
the back.
Yeah, and the revelation of how he knows what he knows comes. It does come a little bit late, but I mean, that's just nitpicking, I think. But because overall everything else works so well, um, yeah, I don't want to spoil the ending, but they get rid of there's a certain trope in films that they get rid of because of how they end this movie.
Yes.
Um,
Here for it.
and you know what? Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it and you're going to see it, turn away for 30 seconds.
Turn us
The
down.
fact that they got rid of the damn white savior narrative, the stupid white savior gonna fix everything, because that was gone, because it was in today's day and age, and even in the 70s, it was absolutely unnecessary. So I was so happy to see that they did make that choice, though I still was hoping there was a way that they could both make it.
True.
But yeah, so that's my little soapbox. I am glad they did that.
Me too. It's to me, they're like even though with that little quibble,
Yeah.
this movie is perfect. I'm not gonna hold you. It's perfect.
No.
Like
Yeah.
I don't have any issues
Um,
with the pacing, the
mhm.
timing, the
No.
storyline, nothing. I mean, that's it. The only thing I would have changed was the Stebbin character, and that's it.
Yeah, and I like if I were really going to complain about anything, and it's not even a complaint, but if I were really going to point at anything, was the way they talked about when the locals would start showing up and there'd be a live audience. It feels like they should have been, the minute they show up, the movie's over. Like, I
Right.
feel like there should have been a walk through the crowds
Like
a
in the book.
little bit longer. I didn't like how quickly it just wraps up once the townspeople are there,
Yeah.
but it still works absolutely wonderfully. And I am tired of every movie getting stretched out to 2.5, 3 hours long. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
So
Yeah.
if y'all haven't seen The Long Walk, definitely go check it out.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't wait for streaming on this one. Go and
No.
you have to go and
Um,
experience it in a movie theater. It's especially a crowded movie theater. You're gonna hear a lot of
Oh, it's
sobbing.
yeah. If you can find a way somewhere that is still getting good business to this movie and you can see it with a bunch of people, you should see this with a bunch of people. Yeah, it's yeah, the and I love how vague the setting is. It could be anywhere Midwest America, which means that they could walk forever and never run into a hill bigger than the one they climb. I
Glad they did it
love
in Maine because you can't
But yeah, you
gauge the
couldn't
terrain
really
in
do
Maine.
this in Maine. No, this had to be in like Nebraska or Kansas. Like it had to be in a flat Midwest.
I feel
But
like if it was flat, we wouldn't have got that intense
yeah,
incline scene.
but I feel like if you're in Maine or any of the Appalachia, you're gonna have more inclines than they had.
Yeah,
But so it's just yeah. It is Stephen King, so Maine is where it has to be because
yeah,
that's just
of
his
course.
that's kind of his thing. And who am I to tell him he's wrong? But what's amazing though, also one thing I want to shout out, those boys were walking between 8 and 15 miles a day filming this. And they filmed it almost entirely in chronological order. Very little did they do out of order. So these boys out there are all walking so far. Like I walk on average maybe a mile a day around the school and whatnot. And I'm tired when I get home. These actors have to be exhausted walking that much. It's
And delivering
amazing.
lines.
And delivering lines and acting their asses off because they are putting in performance.
If
So
you're on the fence about going to see The Long Walk, I would suggest
yes.
that you go and watch the San Diego Con video that they didn't want to show the whole thing.
Hmm.
That video is the first, like that is the
Yeah.
beginning of the movie.
Right.
If you're on the fence about it, go watch that. If you can't handle that, you won't be able to handle the rest
Yeah.
of The Long
and
Walk.
and for a movie that is more drama thriller than horror, there are some there is some graphic violence.
Yes.
Nothing, I mean, we're not talking Terrifier level, but it
No, no,
is the it hurts it hurts the heart more because this is 8, 17, 18, 19-year-old boys that it's happening to. And Meek and I are parents, so that hits you a little bit. Even if you're not a parent, you like these people, most of them. I mean, the only person you really don't like is Barkovich. Um,
but you end up kind of
but you end up
in
a
the
little,
end.
yeah, yes.
A little bit.
For the bulk of the movie, you don't really like Barkovich, but he doesn't redeem himself, but he ends up being a little better. Yeah. I
This
highly
movie is
recommend
about
seeing it.
I highly recommend it too. It's
Yeah. So for this year in horror, it's I can't put one over the other. It's 1A, 1B for me between this and Sinners as the best new horror I've seen this year. Oh,
excuse
bless
me,
you,
sorry.
Mika.
Thank you.
Bless you, Mika. No one heard that because she's quick with the mute, but that was happening. Um, so I'm gonna guess you still have Sinners higher,
Oh yes, this is
but
definitely
this is the next
Sinners is
step
still
down.
one.
Yeah,
But Long Walk is definitely number 2.
it's closer than maybe you thought it would be.
Oh, I mean, I had high expectations for
Yeah,
this movie, and I was not disappointed.
you
Like,
weren't
when I walked
disappointed.
out of there, if any movie that can make me cry, and I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie to y'all. At the end of Sinners, I cried too because
yeah. Oh,
what? Because I cried. But any movie that can make me feel all the feels, like,
Mhm.
whenever they were having their moments of hope, I had moments of I
Yeah,
was like, "Yes, we gonna make it together. F the long
we
walk,"
gonna do
you
it.
know? But
Yes.
any movie that can bring out all of your emotions
Yeah.
and still, and it, like you said, the graphic violence in this tugs at your heart because they do not shy away from it.
Mhm.
You see
Yeah.
everything. So
Yes.
it's definitely up there with
Yeah.
Sinners as top 2 movies of this year. And if this movie does not get
Mhm.
get nominated for an Oscar,
Yeah.
shame on the Academy.
Mhm. Right. Yes. At least like cinematography and screenplay, because they capture, like, you feel hot when these kids are hot. You feel rain when it's raining. You feel what they're doing. So the camera captures a lot. And I just found out that David Johnson is British.
Yes.
Peter McVries is a Brit out there talking like he's from Mississippi.
I love
He
him.
does a great job. Great, but yeah, absolutely, highly recommend. And if Mark Hamill doesn't get an Oscar nomination for this or for Life of Chuck, then something's not right in the world. Same with In Sinners. Same with our buddy Delroy Lindo.
Yes.
Give them
I
their
would hate to
flowers,
see y'all go
people. They
against each
deserve it.
other, but
But at the same time, they both deserve it, right? So
yes. Yes,
bring it
most
on.
definitely.
Bring it on. All right. Now let's shift gears just for a couple of minutes, because you've already done all this. It's out there. But I want to hear a little more about him, because I wasn't able to hang on for the entire conversation y'all were having, because I'm a grandfather. So I want to go hang out with my grandbaby sometimes. And I'm
That's
sorry
right.
y'all were recording when I was hanging out with the boy.
Yeah, it was only
But
3 hours.
him, what was your first impression when you got out of the theater? What were you thinking?
Can I say what I want to say freely without being in trouble?
I think so. We're far enough in.
What the hell did I just watch?
Yeah. Has it changed any? Are you still thinking that?
So I have shout out to Straw Hat Goofy. I think that's Goofy Straw Hat. I think that's his name on Instagram.
Yeah.
God forgive me for not getting your name right. The way he broke it down,
Yeah.
now it makes sense.
Okay.
But even before I saw this movie, I had said, and
Hmm.
spoiler alert, because just a little tiny one,
Yeah.
I had said that this was all happening in Cameron's head.
Yep. That
This
you when
was
we did our trailers episode, you did say that.
right. So
It
I
was
I
out there.
originally said that all of this was just happening in Cameron's head because all
Mhm.
the weird stuff like that just wouldn't be happening in a normal setting, if that makes
Right.
sense, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So obviously, like talking to other people, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna prove you wrong. It's not in his head." I go with that. I go with that
Mhm.
mentality that this is not in his head. This is happening for real.
Yeah.
So then I watched the movie and then I listened to that video and I was like, now that I'm rewatching the movie in my head, I'm
Sure.
like, oh yeah, all of that was definitely in his head. Like
Yeah.
all of that was in his head. I feel like somebody asked me how would I have ended this movie? Because the
Mhm.
ending is what? Um I would have left all of that sequence that happens
Yeah.
in the movie. However, I would have had it to where Cameron wakes up. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He goes through the
Yeah.
tunnel and he wakes up and his mom is standing over him and she's like, "Oh my god, he's finally awake." And we learn that all of this was just a part of him being in a coma. But that's not how it ends.
Yeah. But that's
you
not it.
know, this is not it.
Yeah.
This movie was a fever what it was a fever dream that had a baby
Mhm.
with someone who snorted drugs. That's what it was.
Yeah. All right. So
That's the best way I
does it
can put it.
does it do anything? Did it do anything that it set out to do well for you? Like,
Honestly, no. I mean,
no,
let me back that. Let
yeah,
me walk that
yeah,
back. Marlon Wayans,
yeah,
Marlon Wayans is amazing.
yeah,
Amazing in this movie.
yeah.
Like,
So him and Keenan are my favorite Wayans. I've loved Marlon ever since he broke away from the silly comedy, which I still love. But when he did Requiem for a Dream,
mhm.
and I saw him, and then I was like, there ain't no way that's the same guy. Like, I love Marlon Wayans. So I really want to, I still want to see this movie just for him. So I'm glad to hear that he's out there doing good work, even
I
in a
mean, he
muddled
still
movie.
throws his comedic timing in this movie,
Yeah.
kind of like how he did in Above the Rim, because people
Uh-huh.
forget about Above the Rim. Like
Sure.
Above the Rim, he showed his acting chops in that
Yeah.
one too, but
Right.
still had his little bit of comedic timing in that as
Hmm.
well too. Also in The Sixth Man as well too. But he's great in this
Six
movie.
Man is actually that. I'm glad
Makes me
I
cry
haven't watched that in a long.
every time.
That movie make me laugh out loud every time I watch it.
Yeah, then the ending
It
happens and I boohoo and I sob.
yeah, because
Why?
why you gotta do that to brothers?
Right, like, why? Oh, don't do that. But, um, Tyreek, I can't remember his last name,
Yeah,
Tyreek Withers. Look at that.
Withers. Yep, you got it.
He is great in this movie too,
Yeah.
as a naive rookie
Mhm.
that hasn't even been drafted by a team, but
Yeah.
got the chance to work out with his
Yeah.
idol, and
Right.
that's why I was like, it almost feels like this movie was made by somebody that never watched football.
Yeah. Doesn't
Because
know what's going on.
right,
Yeah.
because there's no way that a rookie would get
Mhm.
the chance to compete against hit,
The
the
like the top guy in the league.
right, that would be like Patrick Mahomes going, take trying to take Tom Brady's spot.
Right. Yeah. Let's go. And that's just not how sport works. It's not how
Right.
the best team doesn't get to bring in the best player from college. It's just not how
Correct.
it works.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
this team had won like 8 championships back to
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And they was like, oh yeah, it's looking like you're gonna be drafted by the Saviors. And I was like, he should have been drafted by the Browns. What are you talking about?
Right. Well, and you know what? I bet you Tyreek Withers be better than anything the Browns putting on the field for all you sports people because the Browns look garbage. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother conversation.
If this was a
That's a
sports
different
talk show,
podcast.
we would be going
That's a
in.
different podcast. Catch me on Saturdays on All Football. No. Yeah. Yeah.
But you could tell like this movie was not
Uh,
directed or written by someone who knows
right.
sports. He
Yeah.
shows up for the combine and he doesn't participate. Like that would
Hmm.
never happen. You don't participate in the combine,
Yeah.
you don't exist anymore.
Well, and you don't,
I
and
don't
if
care
you,
what
and if you're not going to participate in the combine, you don't go to the combine. You
exactly.
hold your pro day. You don't actually show up to the combine and not participate.
But this is the number
The
one
top
draft
guy.
pick. The number
Oh
one
yeah.
draft pick doesn't ever
Yeah, he not.
attend
Yeah.
the combine. They
Mm.
go to draft day. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they do that, and they're like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm just waiting to be picked.
Yeah. I already know. Yeah. Yeah. All
But yeah,
right. So
it was all over the place. But still, it was okay.
so in
Not
in
great.
the cinematic nightmares rating system, if you had one out of 5, where would him fall? Does it does it earn a couple of points for anything?
I gave it
Or is
originally I gave it a 2.5,
all right. All right.
and I changed it to a 3
Okay.
after I knew I was right.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, I really I had really high hopes for this one because I love I mean I love Jordan Peele. I love the stuff that he produces. His uh the Candyman spiritual sequel, his Twilight Zone, all of his movies. I love what he's doing, but everything I'm hearing about this one, it just it kind of sucks because You don't like hearing about your people doing, like, not hitting a home run or
I
not getting a touchdown.
Bam. Uh, so I feel like the studio pulled a
Yeah.
Wes Craven on us
Mhm. They
because
just threw his name up on there.
they threw his name on there because I'm pretty sure they did a test screening of this movie, right?
Yeah.
And it probably
Mhm.
didn't go over well with audiences, right?
Right.
And instead of being like, "Hey, we should just scrap this movie," they was like, "Oh, no, 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 no. He'll
Mhm.
produced it. So let's just slap his name on the poster and
Yeah.
then that'll bring people in to come and see it." Same
Right.
thing happened with Wes Craven in the 2000s. They slapped
Yeah,
his
like
name on Dracula
them.
2000.
Yeah, Dragon 2000, them, and a bunch. It's just a bunch of random stuff because they gave him a producer credit and threw his name on there.
Right.
And so a lot of times, I don't put a lot of stock in what like Rotten Tomatoes reviews say, but when I am looking at something and I want to know, like, if there is a consensus between critics and audiences, if both sides love something or if both sides hate something, it's generally not wrong, and both sides have this one rated as rotten, better than good, not quite good. 58% of audiences and 31% from critics. So that's a pretty low rating across the board. So I mean,
And I also
enter
brought
at
this
your
up
own
to
risk.
someone else. I said, notice like with movies like Sinners and The Long Walk,
Mhm.
they were promoting, "Oh, it has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's at a perfect 100
Yeah,
on Rotten Tomatoes." We never saw that for him.
nothing, nothing from this one. No, not at all. Not at all. And just since we're talking Long Walk, and I'm already there, already on the website, Long Walk has an 88% tomato meter, 85% audience score. So it is almost across the board enjoyed by everyone.
Mhm.
Whereas him, just it just didn't hit. So it's, I hope they're not shoehorning Jordan Peele's name into a bunch of stuff just to get butts in seats. But I think there's a lot to what you're saying,
Yeah.
because they spent a lot of money making this movie. It didn't go over well. How are we going to market this? I got
Mhm.
this idea. Justin Tipton, you know Justin Tipton? Jordan Peele says, yeah. He's like, all right, you're a producer.
You want producer
Uh,
credit?
yeah. All right,
Be-
whatever.
because
I
I
got a new
mean,
baby at home, I guess.
because it does give Jordan Peele vibes. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, it does.
That
But
trailer, 100% said, yeah, this is a Jordan Peele joint. That's what you're gonna get. They weren't lying as far as the trailer was concerned, for sure.
right, but it still fell flat for me.
Yeah.
Like, but I would suggest that it, just like I tell everybody, go and see it for yourself. It's
Yeah.
definitely one of the ones I probably would have waited until streaming if
Right.
I
And
didn't
that's
get
where
a
I'm at.
if I hadn't gotten a screener for it. Shout out to
Yeah.
Spooky House podcast for that,
Right.
for hooking me up with that. If I hadn't gotten a screener to it and I didn't get to go see it for free, I would have read all the reviews or seen all the review videos, I
Mhm.
probably would have waited for him to hit streaming before I saw it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on to my favorite horror movie of all time. Well, it's just the original. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, directed by Toby Hooper, written by Toby Hooper, Kim Henkel, is my favorite horror movie. I absolutely love that horror movie. I think it has some of the worst sequels in all of horror filmdom. Texas Chainsaw Massacre has not had the greatest track record. I enjoy part two. I can stomach part three. The original Platinum Dunes reboot from the early 2000s, I like enough. Every other one is garbage, and I
You don't like
don't
the
like any of
Jessica
them.
Biel one?
The Jessica Biel one's the only one that's okay. It's not good. The one that I wanted to like was the Alexandra Daddario one,
Yeah.
and that one got stupid. the "get 'em cuz" or whatever garbage.
Go
She
get
said,
him,
"Give me a
cuz.
yeah, give me a freaking break, people." But with that being said, this over the summer, it was announced that Kim Henkel and his production company was going to be auctioning the rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and a bunch of big names were supposedly in the running for it. I know Jordan Peele, his group was in, Neon, lots of people, but it turns out it looks like A24 is the place that is getting the rights to the movie. What do you think? Do you think A24 is the right place when you have all these other options that were out there?
A24 to me has kind of, they were strong in the
Oh yeah.
beginning,
Oh yeah. When you're
but
talking Midsummer, Hereditary, yeah, they were when elevated horror became a thing, they were absolutely
right.
the ones. But go
But
ahead.
as of late, not so much.
No?
But I think if they can get the right directors, and I'm not talking about
So
them brothers.
well, so
Um,
the deal for the according to World of Real and Cinema Daily US, the rights for the deal for A24 securing the rights includes Glenn Powell will be in a unspecified creative role, not necessarily an acting role. Glenn Powell will be involved, and the director will be JT Molnar, who wrote The Long Walk.
then we're good. Let him
So
cook.
yeah.
Let him cook.
So when I saw that, I just read that today. It came out a couple weeks ago, but I just read it today. So I'm good. JT Molnar, Strange Darling. He directed Strange Darling. He wrote The Long Walk.
Yes.
This guy, like, they are starting off really well, really strong. And obviously nothing has been spilled as to what they pitched to the Henkel family to get these rights, but Glenn Powell, I don't know how I feel about that, because has Glenn Powell even done horror? Not like
Not that
he's always Mr. Good looking, clean cut, except for this Chad Powers thing that he's doing on Hulu. But that's a whole nother. I love it when I really like it when the quote unquote good looking star will ugly up for a role, and he's definitely do that for Chad Powers. The Eileen Wuornos monster movie with Charlize Theron, I love that. That stuff's great. So, because it means that they don't take themselves so seriously that they have to be the prettiest person on screen. And
So
let me tell you,
then,
from a straight man, Glenn Powell, not an ugly dude. Easy on the
true.
eyes.
Right. So
Just
I mean, if this is the role that he wants to do,
yeah,
he wants to take on on Leatherface, let him do it.
do it,
Let him do
bro.
it.
Yeah. So there are rumors that that A24 will be looking to recapture more of the raw practical horror elements of the original,
Good.
but they haven't said yet, because there's been rumors that it could be a film reboot, but it could also be a television series.
I think I've seen the rumors about it becoming a television series.
Yeah. So but they haven't confirmed anything, though more of the reports coming out are leaning towards a film reboot rather than a TV series. And I think if you want to do a TV series, that's fine. You can do like what Shudder did with like Creep Show, and you can have a really good TV series with it. But I think because it's been so trashed and such bad movies, you need to get one more movie, get that solid foundation back, and then give me the story, the continuing story in a television series. I think.
I think television for this particular
Mm-hmm.
franchise doesn't work because um because it is an isolated
Mm-hmm.
farmhouse, right? And
Yes.
unless you're gonna go and do a prequel for this and do a prequel show and show
Yes.
how we get to the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that
Right.
works. But anything beyond that, how many other people,
Right.
I mean, how many other times are you gonna have people running up on this house and we
Eh,
know the outcome.
right. Yeah. Yes, you always know what's gonna happen. It's
Right.
actually, the prequel I want? I wanna see the rest of that road trip that Sally Hardesty and her friends were going on before they got to the house.
That's what I mean. Like you can literally start from the
Mhm.
beginning
Yeah.
with with the family and
Mhm.
enroll and then
Yeah.
roll into Sally Hardison and her friends and
Showing
that
up.
them showing up and or them
Yeah.
them hanging out and them saying,
Or
"Oh yeah, you know what? Let's make this plans. Let's
yeah,
go across the
what
country."
were the events that led up to these two things coming together?
Right.
I mean, similar to like the Bates Motel TV show. You knew where it
Yes.
had to get. Let's see what were the events that transpired to get us to that point. That would be a fun show because now you can lean more into the drama. You can do some horror elements because we know that members of the family did work at the meat packing plant, and
Right.
and there's other bones around. There's other things. You have to see Leatherface start making his pretty girl mask and his all. So those things, you still have horror elements, but you can wrap it in a family drama that leads us to Sally and her brother and everybody else showing up and like it ends with them stopping off at the cemetery to go find grandpa's gravestone.
There it is. Yep. Whenever y'all want to
A24 if
hire
you
us, A24, we're
A24
here.
if you need a writer's room, we got you right here.
Got
Right
you.
here. Call Wednesday
Do
Night
this.
Frights. We got ideas.
We
We
got
got
this.
ideas. But yeah, I really do. I love the idea of JT Molnar. If A24 can do it in that midsummer way, because this is supposed to be sweaty hot Texas, so bright lights. Midsummer made bright sunshine scary. If they can get that vibe here, I think we're in a good place. But we'll see what happens. Oh, so Mika, you're today. It's October 1st, the first
Season.
day of the spooky month. Let's be real though, spooky season lasts all year long.
Period.
This is just the final 31 days before the first day of the next spooky season.
That part.
That being said, I wanted to ask you. So I was reaching out on social media about the like the first movie, like the first like R-rated or totally inappropriate movie that like really messed with your head. What was that first one? And I will tell, for me, there is about 10 to 15 seconds in the original Pet Cemetery where the mom, Mrs. Creed, is telling the story of her older sister Zelda, and you
Mhm.
just see Zelda and her spinal meningitis for 10 or 15 seconds very quickly in the basement. That little scene, like I have nightmares if I think about it too long. It wrecked me. Shouldn't have seen it probably when I did, but it has always stuck with me. What is the big scene for you? What was the first one that really stuck with you? You're like, oh yeah, that's scary.
Oh no. We're talking about a kid that has been watching horror movies since she was 5. But
Uh,
the
mhm.
in any in up until I'm
Yeah,
12. I turned 12 and this movie drops and it terrifies me
yeah.
for the rest of my life. And it wasn't even one particular scene. It was just the whole
The whole
damn
thing.
movie. And this
Yeah.
Candyman, like
Candy. Yeah.
it does it because you
Yeah.
took something so common
Mm-hmm.
and turned it into something so horrifying.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like the bathroom mirror and all of this, and the fact that Bernard Rose, and I don't know if he wrote it or whoever wrote the screenplay, the fact that they've chose to make this all take place in a real project. Cabrini Green at the time was a real housing project in Chicago. Like
Yes.
they really grounded this thing in something so real. These people feel real. And I also want to shout out actress in that movie who plays Virginia Madsen's best friend, Cassie Lemons, who is an amazing director on her own. If you haven't seen Eve's Bayou, go watch Eve's
Love.
Bayou. Love Eve's Bayou. That's Cassie Lemons, amazing, amazing director. Anyways, yeah, your Candyman. Candyman would be. It was. I just did a with Mike and Serial X. We just did a top 10 countdown of our favorite '90s horror movies, and Candyman comes up a couple of times. But yeah, that's a. I watched it. I was. I don't know what year did it come out? 91,
92.
92.
Mhm.
So I was 13, 14 years old when I saw it the first time. But yeah, it's in beyond Bernard Rose, beyond the story that Clive Barker wrote, beyond all of that, Tony Todd was absolutely terrifying. The way that smooth honey silk voice, the way he said it, sweets for the sweet,
Be my
be,
victim.
be my victim. And like you could understand why someone said, okay,
Right.
I'll be
Like,
your victim. Like, yeah.
couldn't have been me, but I mean, he probably would have got me. I don't know. I ain't gonna hold
Yeah,
you.
I ain't gonna lie. Don't lie.
I'm not gonna lie.
I really wish that Farewell to the Flesh, and I know Tony Todd became Tony Todd right now at that time. So
Mhm.
Farewell to the Flesh became a real Candyman with Tony Todd movie. I want to see that movie where Virginia Madsen's character is the new Candyman. I want that movie. Again, anybody who wants to make that TV show where it's just Candyman through the years, it's an anthology. Each episode is a new Candyman through the years. Call me. We'll write that movie. I got
I mean,
ideas.
because they already hinted at it. I mean, they even hinted at it. That was the focal point of
Yeah.
the spiritual sequel was that
Mhm.
there wasn't just one.
Just one. It's been happening over and over again forever.
Yeah.
Or since Daniel Robitaille, anyways. Like
Right.
he may have
He
been
was the
first.
original.
He was the
But
original Candyman.
yeah, he was the original.
My other question, if you remember, I'm sure you do because we're nerds and we're horror freaks. What was the first horror movie that true horror movie you remember watching?
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
I was 5.
Mine was the first Alien.
That was 5.
And I mean, and I always joke. People say, "How did you watch Alien when you were that young?" I said, "Well, the '80s were a different time."
Yeah. You had multiple movies on a VHS tape and you didn't know what movie
Oh
was
yeah.
coming next.
And where I lived in roughly 1986 or 1987, the first Blockbuster in my neighborhood opened up, and it was a 3/4 of a mile walk. My mom and dad, they gave me my own Blockbuster card. I didn't need them to come with me, and they didn't put any limitations on it. I could rent what I wanted. So I was able to see some things, but they talk about latchkey kids. We don't have a lot of those, I don't think, anymore, but that's what I was. I got home from school and it was at least 2 hours before my dad got home or my mom got home. So I watched what I want to watch. And I think I turned out okay. Don't
I was
ask my
gonna
wife. She
say,
said I'm a little psycho and a little crazy, but hey,
we
what are you
all
gonna
go a
do?
little mad sometimes.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right, Mika, as we begin to wrap up, tell me, what do you got going on with your 31 days of horror and all that fun stuff?
Just 31 days of horror for the whole month. No top fives, no episodes, just 31 days of me in front of a camera.
Oh, I love it. Do we have any news on any upcoming game nights going to be happening?
Oh yeah, so game night is gonna happen end of October. I'm still actually I'm not. It is going to be on the 20. Wait, are we in October? Yes, 25th
We
of
are in
October,
October.
a Saturday. I
All
was
right.
gonna do it on Halloween night, but
Mhm.
I know a lot of people will probably be out with their kids, or if they don't have kids, their nephews, cousins, whatever.
Yeah.
So I and also didn't
Their next door neighbors, auntie's little puppy. They're going to walk them around.
something.
Who
So
knows?
25 October, we'll do game night.
All right.
It'll be trivia. I have
Yeah.
a horror trivia game somewhere around here in the podcast room, and we'll be playing horror trivia that night.
Nice. That's awesome. So 31 days of horror. Check that out. That's everywhere. That's just Cinematic Nightmares podcast. It'll be on Instagram. It'll be on YouTube, all over the channel.
If I can get YouTube to act right.
Well, YouTube is being rude right now, saying you use too many. You used 11.5 seconds of Psycho, so you can't have that video. Um,
And
and
block
then,
the visibility, like, people want you can't see it, and I'm like,
yeah,
"It's lame."
and then for me, the month of October, I got some stuff going on. Let's see, on Friday, so I think that's the 3rd. I got Couch Critics has an episode dropping where we talk with Will Soto from the Red Treehouse, One Good Scare Pod. And then 2 weeks later, I believe it's the Friday the 17th, the Couch Critics have this amazing interview that we're dropping with our special guest, Mika G, hanging out in that show. So watch for those. Um, what else we got going on my horror podcast? We are smack in the tail end or right in the middle of, I can't remember which, of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All of those movies, I went through them all. I watched them, so you don't have to. But check us out, Real Talk, wherever you wherever you get your social media and podcasts. We are everywhere. Anything else to say before we go, Mika?
No.
All right, everybody send your positive vibes Mika's way. She's been a little under the weather. She's getting better. She continued to get better because we need all 31 days. Oh, I forgot. I am actually going to be heading out of town on the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. And I'm going to, if you've ever seen the Disney Channel original movie Halloween Town, we are going to the actual Halloween Town. My wife and I, our daughter and her fiance, we're going to go hang out a few days and do the Halloween Town thing. So hopefully I'll get some good footage and I'll be able to upload that when we get back.
Oh, and if
But
you're in
with that,
Orlando, I'll be at Halloween Horror Nights this weekend.
Halloween Horror Nights this weekend in
Yes.
Orlando. Check it out. Be there or be like me and wish you were there.
Trying to
With
record content.
I'm Josh. She is
Mika G.
Mika G. And this is Wednesday Night Frights. I hope y'all had a great evening. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Maybe.